What is up? My name is Austin Gordon, and this is probably the first video you've seen of me in front of the camera. I am fully recording this off my brain. There's no script or anything like that. I wanted to kind of tell my story about being a 20-year-old business owner, someone that started this journey whenever I was a sophomore in high school. I kind of just want to talk about where I started and where I'm at now and where I'd love to be in the future. Whenever I went into sophomore year, I had to pick a class and I decided to take yearbook. I didn't know exactly why I wanted to take yearbook. I love watching Casey Neistat on YouTube and stuff like that. And that journalistic / creative thing kind of really perked my interest. So I took yearbook with a teacher that I'm really good friends with now. She really got me into it starting out. Whenever we started taking the class, we had about 20 kids in it, and we only had one yearbook camera. My dad wanted a camera to take pictures of me in sports and stuff. So after a couple nights of discussing, they went out and bought me a T6i with a 55 to 250 millimeter f4 to 5.6 or 6.3, something like that. I'll put a screenshot up. And of a similar kit, and an 18 to 55 kit lens with it. I took that camera and started taking pictures for yearbook just for fun, going to basketball games and football games and stuff. That year my high school actually went to state, documented that. My pictures were awful back then, but that is where I got my first money from taking pictures. I had a teacher come to me, and a coach came to me and wanted pictures of him and her daughter after the end of the game. He said he'd give me like $10. I don't remember what he gave me, but he gave me a little bit of money. It made me start thinking, wow, what if I started selling a little bit more of this stuff and see where it took me? And you know, $100 a week as a high school student, just mad money would be nice. And I started watching a lot more YouTube and started learning manual mode and stuff like that, and what everything meant on the camera, not just put it in auto and hope for the best. I learned every little detail that I possibly could off of YouTube and paid courses and stuff. So that's where I started. That is how it all began. So later that year, we went into basketball season and a lot of people wanted stuff. So as I continued to grow my name, I was still running with the T6i and the kit stuff, and the gyms around here are awful, especially in my home school. The gym is very orange and very dark. So the next thing from my knowledge from watching YouTube is to get a faster aperture lens. So I went out and begged my parents to give me a small loan of, I think, $1,500, and they somehow agreed to my crazy idea, and I got a 70-200 f2.8 IS Mark II, brand new. I got a good deal on it, I thought, whenever it came, whenever I saw it. So they allowed me to buy it, and I paid them back very quickly, I believe, and I got a 70-200. Well, I was still doing sports and stuff, not really doing any like no seniors or anything like that. It was just sports stuff. I continued to do that, and I continue to do that today, but I found out I wanted another camera body. So I went out and bought a 7D Mark II, which is a professional grade APS-C body, which I no longer have. I sold that, and I bought that used, and then I got 24-70 and a bunch of other stuff. As I continue to grow, my sophomore summer, actually it would be my junior summer, I got a job at Wendy's. I worked about 40 hours a week there, nonstop, every single week, and I actually kind of enjoyed it. I learned a lot. I was really closed in before high school and during high school freshman year. I really didn't talk much. But Wendy's, working there through the drive-thru and the desk and stuff, I learned to talk to strangers, which helped me so much. And I recommend everyone to work at a fast food chain and learn what there is to do with that, because it will put you in multiple different scenarios where you're not used to. But I digress. Anyways, All that money from that job went straight into the business, and I bought more lenses, more gear. I started learning flash photography, and I started getting clients. I started booking stuff, and I remember one of my first clients, I actually shot with her multiple times now. She was a girl in my grade, and I think I charged her $40. And the pictures are actually some of my favorites. I was learning. I was thrilled with them. I was shot that on the T6i with the Canon 50 1.8, the Nifty 50, the $100 lens that I still have today in my camera bag. It's an awesome little lens. But all the work I went through as Wendy's is to go straight to the business. I didn't spend any of the money on me, and no one really understood why, I didn't understand why at the time either, but now it's one of the greatest things I've ever done. Later that next year, I went into high school my junior year, not knowing what I wanted to be. Junior year is kind of whenever you start thinking about what you want to be, and I always thought I'd do photography on the side, and I'd have a 9 to 5. But I hated the idea of 9 to 5. I want to be my own boss. I want to do my own thing, and my business kept growing and growing and growing and growing to where I had to shoot multiple shoots every evening through sports, while I was during sports. I started getting contacts between schools. I started just growing everywhere. And one of my best friends and I took pictures all the time together, and her and I still work together to this day. We just had a session a couple weeks, or probably a week ago from when you're seeing this. Her pictures might be on my Instagram, but Brooklyn actually. But her and I have shot together quite a bit, and she was my guinea pig for a lot of stuff, and a lot of my work is trash, and it still is. I still produce trash work all the time. I'm still always trying to improve, but I just kept buying camera gear and learning how to use it to its best potential that I could at the time. I had to upgrade my computer. I upgraded once. I built one computer, sold it to my younger brother for real cheap, and then I built this thing. My whole setup here is based around editing, and it is a beast, and I get so much done with all the screens I have. If you've ever been in here, or if you've seen my setup before, like the video if you want to have a setup video, kind of show off what I have here. But anyways, I digress off that. So everything has been about the business, and it still is. I still take a small paycheck weekly from it nowadays that I am in this location now, which is where I'm going to continue talking. So in about the beginning of 2018, I believe, I started advertising studio sessions in my living room. Obviously I still live with my parents. My mom was not thrilled by this, but she dealt with me for about a year and a half or so, and here recently, or probably around November last year, she kept bugging me, hey, you need to start looking for a place. You need to start looking for a studio. We want you out of here, blah, 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 blah. And they've always been really supportive, but they wanted me out. So I started looking for places in my town that I kind of grew up in, went to high school in. It's where a lot of my clients are and still are today. And I went to one place, checked it out. The rent was exactly what I wanted. Utilities probably would have been just fine, but God told me no. The landlord said that we would not like to have a business up here because it was a second floor place, and it was really small, but for rent I thought, oh, it could be a start. It didn't work out. So luckily that didn't work out, and then I checked out another place, and it was narrow, small, it needed a lot of work, but I was happy with it. I would have been more than glad to fix it up and start there. But I never got a call back from the landlord after a couple months of waiting for him to tell me a price. So was driving around one day with my dad. We were in town for something, and we saw a sign in the window for this place. I called that guy, the landlord, and I looked at it, I think, the very next day. Dad looked at it the next day after that. I was pretty confident in the place, that I could make it exactly how I wanted it. So I signed for this place February 22nd, 20th, somewhere there. And I now rent this place out as a studio. and I remodeled the whole thing, painted everything. There's still improvements that need to be done. If you've been in here, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The floor needs redone. I need to put down a new floor, but it is the perfect space for me right now, and I am truly blessed to be able to be in here. So if you made it this far in the video, thank you. It's probably been terrible so far, but I kind of want to talk about my future plans and where I see myself next year around this time. So hopefully, I've gotten a lot more seniors. I have booked more weddings this year. So far it's going really well. Same with senior stuff. Working with high schools more and really hoping for that. And I'm excited to connect with more people. This is kind of what this YouTube channel thing is for me. Hopefully connect with other photographers, hopefully connect with community members and stuff like that. I want to be on a more personal basis. I don't want to just be a person behind the camera. I want to be kind of a face for this town and for this location. So I'm excited for that. If you made it this far along, please subscribe. I would love to get 1,000 subscribers. That is my first goal by the end of maybe October or somewhere in there. So you can hold me to that. I'm going to post this on Facebook and Instagram, kind of share it around. Kind of tells my story, not in great detail, but I'm excited to edit this and post it. I'm nervous at the same time. I've been holding off on this stuff forever. I've always wanted to do this, but here lately it's just been like, just do it. Even if it's bad videos, or if you're an idiot and you say or stutter all the time because you're not confident in front of the camera, I just need to take the video and post it. And maybe down the line, if I get big enough and more confident, I'll redo the video explaining in greater detail and without saying every other time. So if you made it this far, please, thank you. Share it on your Facebook, like and subscribe. It will help me out a lot, especially here. I don't have very many subscribers and I don't post that often. I'm going to try and post more. I would like to post behind the scenes and stuff like that of shoots, and I really hope to grow and see where this takes me. This is just a little bit of fun for me, kind of showing what I do. I don't see it taking off to being like Peter McKinnon level or something like that, but if it does, I'll be truly blessed, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.